The Boy Scouts of America is celebrating its 100th birthday this year. And as a way to showcase that accomplishment, we thought we would highlight one Louisiana Boy Scout who is working on his Eagle Badge. Most Eagle Scout projects take place somewhere close to home, but there is one young man who traveled halfway around the world to make a difference in the lives of children. 15-year-old Ian Wolt enjoys a path less traveled. Ian, a Boy Scout, also loves adventure. This summer, as part of his Eagle Scout project, Ian traveled to the other side of the world, to East Africa, to install a water system and deliver pediatric medical equipment to the Chabakuza Baby House, located in Uganda. With the help of his family, Ian came up with the idea about a year ago.
Well, we contacted my mom's friend, she's a missionary in Africa, and we asked her what she needed. And she said the solar panel, or the water heating system, and some medical equipment.
And right away, it was like, okay, that's great. I mean, immediately, the look on his face when he was hearing this was like, okay, we're going to do this.
Ian raised over $6,000. The money helped purchase and install a water system that offers hot water for showers and laundry needs. But also, for the first time, the children would have clean drinking water inside their home.
Where we are in the village with the babies, there is no electricity, so their only other option is using a charcoal fire, which for a lot of reasons is not the best option, mostly because it's time-consuming and takes care away from the babies.
Chabakuza Baby House, founded by a friend of ours, Faye Gerard, established it, a Louisiana native, I might add, from New Iberia, and babies that get abandoned by their mom right after birth sometimes. The officers of the law will bring them to this baby home and say, here you go, all yours. And then they care for them and they get them to a point, a few years perhaps go by until they're old enough to go into a more traditional orphanage.
Ian, this young Boy Scout, he came with a bunch of money. Well, it was American dollar, but when he was made into shillings, it was a bunch of money. And the first thing we did was we went to the local smith here in Masaka. We ordered a solar panel, like a homemade solar panel. We bought a special paraffin burner that can make hot water in the drinking water and hot water for the babies as well. We made we put up a tower with a big tank. So we can store water, two tanks we have now.
In addition to putting his 14 million shillings to good use, at Ian's asking, companies from around the U.S. donated vital medical equipment, including an oxygen concentrator, 3 regulators, as well as a baby weighing scale. And then there's a diaper company from New Iberia called Fuzzy Buns. They donated 500 cloth diapers to Eagle Project Uganda. And along the way, Ian made many friends.
One of my friends that I made his name was Samuel. He was about 6 years old and he was abandoned. Actually, his mom died in the hospital, and him and his sister wandered around the hospital for a few days before anybody found out that they were without parents. So they brought him to the baby house. We met another child named Gideon. His mom didn't want him, so they tied him up and put him under the bed. And he had other siblings that fed him enough so he could survive for about a year. It's definitely sad looking at the pictures, but with the organization, they've nursed him back to health, and he is a growing child.
Ian's sister Morgan also kicked in with a special project as well. She collected donations to purchase soccer balls and donated them to numerous schools and orphanages. The conditions there are so poor that the kids make their own soccer balls out of tied-up plastic bags.
She would give one to the boys and one to the girls, and instead of having a little small ball, homemade soccer ball to kick around, they call them footballs there, by the way, and she would trade them. She would take that old ball and she would give them a brand new leather, quality-made soccer ball, and just the look of glee on these children's faces. And the same thing with Ian.
And after spending 5 weeks in Africa, Ian found out he had a few extra shillings left over. So he spent his last bit of cash on a swing set at the baby house. But just like the water system, the swing set had to be made by hand. How do you make a swing set in Africa?
There is a metal worker, the same metal worker that they had worked with to build the solar-powered water panel and the towers for these tanks that you see. Everything there is made from scratch. Nothing is prepackaged in East Africa.
And nothing is taken for granted at the Chabakuza Baby House. The Wold 2010 summer family vacation lasted 39 days. Dan and his wife Danielle have taken their children now to 44 states and 5 foreign countries over the years. They all admit this trip will be hard to top. From the monkeys greeting their cars at Entebbe Airport to the tree-climbing lions at the Queen Elizabeth National Park. But it's likely the richest memories of all will be the faces they saw and all the smiles they shared.
I think the most richest memory that I have is the privilege of watching my son and my daughter blossom and grow and come out of themselves in a very foreign land, in a very foreign culture, to bring them over there and watch them interact with local people with a very foreign culture, and to see them fit right in and immediately become comfortable with it and become popular with other children and with other adults, and to have comments made of, boy, your kids are really very grown up. They're really very responsible. They really have big hearts.
I miss being there and everything about it.
And one day you hope to return.
I will go back.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Ian still has a few more hurdles to go before earning his Eagle badge, but that should happen sometime late this year or early next year. The entire Wold family loves adventure and going on compassionate missions, and I just marvel at what they consider to be a summer vacation.
Wow, it makes you wonder, what did I do this summer? Nothing. Well, Ian also created a website that chronicled the entire summer adventure in East Africa, and it's really worth taking a look. You can find it by going to eagleprojectuganda.com.